This is Boresight News, and I'm Shaun Kenny.
And I'm Karen Howes.
And boy, oh boy, is this a show to remember tonight. And if you don't have your VCR running, go turn it on. And while you're turning it on, I'm going to rant and rave for a minute.
We got something good to rant and rave about.
I can't believe that they would do that. We have some nice folks out on Long Island called Cable Tech, Barry and Larry Altman, and they did a nice little telemarketing show here on Boresight some time ago, and it was mildly successful. But they also decided to make a tape about scrambling and how you can defeat the scrambling system. Well, we refused to handle it for them, so they went ahead and bought 10 minutes before Boresight last week and bought another hour after Boresight last week to primarily promote a tape that showed you how to beat the VC2. Well, brother, what is beaten is you out of $149.
This is the tape that you get. It's a half-inch, poor quality dub, 15 minutes worth of the Cable Tech logo with some audio, and then it cuts to a Boresight feature which we produced about 6 months ago on how Cable Tech beat the video cipher scrambling system by hooking up their satellite system to get audio through their cable.
Well, we didn't actually say that. What we did was we showed how that INN News handled it, and we didn't know. We left it unconclusive as we truthfully didn't know, but that's what they did.
That is what they did, and that's what this tape talks about. The tape actually is just a few minutes worth of Cable Tech, and the rest is Boresight News. We don't endorse this tape at all, and we did not give Cable Tech the permission to rebroadcast and resell footage that we produce here at Boresight. But never fear, for $149, not only do you get this videotape, but you also get a book. This is the book. And then here is the diagram on how you can actually do the connection in order to get audio through your cable system.
Now, that's audio through your cable system. First, you have to pay for cable.
And that's it if you are in a cable franchised area, and most of you dish owners out there aren't.
Yep, and they don't even give you good tape. Well,
we suggest if you did buy this, if you have this on order, to cancel your order, return the tape, demand a refund. There's no reason why you need to be ripped off. Not at this time.
That's right. You're being ripped off enough by the cable, right, and the programmers and so on and so forth, which we'll get into now that you have your VCR running. Won't we?
Yes.
Okay, where do we want to start? Let's start at Provo. Providenciales, there was a meeting at the Turks and Caicos Islands, as many of you know about.
Right, and we hope to bring you first-class footage from that. Billy was down there, Shaun was down there shooting the summit, and we were going to bring you news and information on what went down there, but unfortunately when Billy came back through Miami, United States Customs grabbed a hold of the video footage, and so we can't bring you the news on that.
They're going to duplicate it, and that's the 62 tapes they're going to have to duplicate. Okay, well, we know where our taxes are going these days. It's really very pretty scenery of the island. It's a beautiful island. There is quite a bit of footage of the summit, and I fail to understand what they're going to find interesting about it, considering it took place on a foreign soil and has nothing to do with anything here in this country, at least not the way it was done.
I think U.S. Customs is operating from a precedent that was set by Apple Computer when some chip manufacturers were importing chips which they felt violated the copyright in their computer setup. U.S. Customs now, I think, is utilizing that precedent in order to pursue what we believe is GI claims that there is copyright violation of the chips in their VC2.
Well, what they did was, not only did they confiscate all of Boresight's show tapes, they also confiscated all the dealers' demo chips that were brought back from the island on Monday, which was the beginning of this week. And not only did they take the guys' chips, they also detained them for over 4 hours where everybody missed their connection. So everyone had to go out and spend all this extra money for hotel space and spend extra money for tickets just to get back home. And that brings up a point I need to make at this time. The people down there were really good. The dealers that were there, the dealers who were waiting in customs, were not upset about what was going on. They were upset that the way it was being done and the fact that it had nothing to do with the U.S. government. It had everything to do with a corporation. And what hurt was to know that our government has been compromised, and that's what really hurt the dealers, and that's what really affected it, the whole situation. Think about that. Our government is bought by a corporation, or two corporations, and that's the facts. And hopefully we're going to be able to prove that further on down the road.
All right. The chips that were confiscated were not done so because they were in fact in violation of copyright. They were confiscated so that Customs could determine whether or not they violated any laws.
Well, we'll get into that. heavy, I hope, because this is a key issue of our industry, and you the consumer and you the dealer. This is going to spur a movement, hopefully, that will, again, bring forth some funding from you people out there that will allow us to find out what's really going on in the cable, in the manufacturers, in our U.S. government, as to why haven't anything happened in our behalf to try to get us fair pricing on programming. Did our government get compromised not only at U.S. Customs, but also at Congress and the Senate level? Why is it that we cannot get programming? Why is it? And we're going to have to find it out. But to find it out, we need to bring legal action against the people involved. We need to go in and look at their records and see what really happened. And to do that, we're going to need your help. And you're going to help yourself by doing it. Right?
How are they going to do this?
Well, I think one thing, we ought to start a fund. And if it's the first fund should be for legal action to find out what the U.S. government was persuaded to do as a result of a corporation, and then have those same attorneys work on GI and MACOM and the cable companies to find out what kind of collusion, what took place. If we are in the wrong because we attempted to do something to try to keep us in business, then we have to find out why we're going out of business. Well, I mean, we're wrong because we want to stay in business, but why are we going out of business? Why don't you have a satellite dealer to service your equipment? It's a real important question, and the only way we're going to get an answer for it is go get some lawyers, some heavy lawyers, and fight this issue. And this is not a Rick Brown issue because this isn't his type of law. This is nuts and bolts, and drag him out, and let's really write him up, and let's get a lot of things going in the courts. And we open this area up. And you can do it in the court. You can find out what's really going on in the courtroom. And that's what we have to do. And we have to do it now, before this industry is closed down totally by the government and by big business. So, send some money in.
Okay.
We don't have a fund yet.
Don't send it in today because we don't know exactly what. We're going to have an attorney that's going to keep all this money in escrow, and we haven't got the details yet on where the checks ought to be sent or what name it ought to go under. So just hold on a minute. Now, let me say this. If you don't see Boresight on the air next week, and look for us either here on SpaceNet 1 or Galaxy 3, you will know that the government has managed to do something to keep us off the air. We're going to need your money. Not just for Boresight. We're going to need your money to fight the whole issue. So if you don't see it, get out that $100 bill and send it. I know $100 bill is a lot, but Boresight's worth it, and your freedom is worth it, because that's what we're all fighting for. And to emphasize that point, it was really beautiful to see the dealers come together down there in the Provo and say to themselves, look, I don't want to make money off of scrambling. That's not what I want to do. I want to sell systems. I made money selling systems. I was happy. I don't want to worry about who's knocking at my door. So they came up with a pretty neat idea. They're going to ask a chip manufacturer to make a chip available that can go into your VC2, and they're going to ask the chip manufacturer to make it available for $25. They're going to have the chip manufacturer actually charge $50. $25 will be used to purchase the chip, and $25 will go into a legal or advertising fund. The dealer agrees to sell you that chip for no more than $100. You agree upon purchase of that chip and the installation of to deposit in a trust fund, not the same legal trust fund, totally different trust fund that will be overseen by hopefully somebody from the programming side, somebody from the new association side, somebody from, let's say, KSAT, and somebody from Boresight, or somebody from Coops, whatever. Let's hope 3 or 4 attorneys. The attorneys on the other side will not get to see your name, those that are depositing, or just get to see the amount, and all the money will be deposited into a trust account for the programmers to get paid for programming. All right? Follow me so far? Yeah, well, the point here is that most of the people that are buying these chips do not want to steal programming. They just want programming that's fairly priced. In order to prove this intent, in order to prove that we do not intend to steal programming, the idea is to have an escrow fund set up that programmers can take money out of when they agree on certain fair pricing.
Right. Now, why would a customer want to pay for it? Why do you dealers want to see to it your customer pays for it? Because every chip you get, if $100 and whatever does not go into the trust fund, then if legal action is brought to you by HBO or a programmer or by GI or whatever, you will not have an opportunity to share in that defense fund to protect you or your customer. That defense fund will be set up to protect anyone that may be brought up on charges of piracy or whatever other charges that they might dream up that you have broken. The idea is simple, and you put it very well. We want to pay for programming, we just want to pay the right amount. And we can only do this if we demonstrate to the Congress that we are willing to pay for programming and really do it. And we're not talking like a couple of $1,000s. You got to get millions in there. It will probably cost about anywhere from $95 to $120 for the programming for a year. We're going to finally get that calculation down once we figure out what HBO is really charging.
Well, if 100,000 people put in $100 in escrow account for programmers, that's $10 million, and that's, the Congress would have to see then that we mean business, that we will pay.
HBO and none of the programs have netted anywhere near even a couple $100,000 off of charging for programming, with the exception of maybe CNN, because all the Three Musketeers are keying in off of the Three Musketeer chips. I wonder if CNN is going to be brought in as conspiracy on this.
I think CNN in this instance is an innocent bystander.
Well, you can say that about a lot of people in this. Many people, those dealers were innocent bystanders. They got harassed and hassled, and very possibly they'll be brought up on charges. Not likely, because I don't know. No one can figure out what charges they can be brought up on. But CNN knows that everyone's subscribing to them because they've got these Three Musketeer chips. They're not stupid. Well, Ted was well.
We're going to have some commercials, then the news, then we'll be back.
We're not back. Send the money tonight.
Bob Cooper has done it again. He's compiled everything you need to know about scrambling into one spot. He calls it the Scramble Facts Newsletter.
20 TV services are now scrambling with Oak Orion, while 15 have signed up with Video Cipher. Another 2 are...
Do you know which 70 TVRO receivers have been tested for compatibility with the Video Cipher? A complete list appears in the new issue of Scramble Facts.
EDP 900, SatStar Elan, SatTech R5000.
Do you know the 8 firms who are providing pirate decoder units or information? Scramble Facts lists them along with their telephone numbers.
Fantasy Satellite at 213-362-977.
Everything you need to know about scrambling, the legal and the illegal, is in Scramble Facts Newsletter. For your own airmail copy charged to your Visa or MasterCharge card, call area code 305-771-0505 today. Bob Cooper is the source, and that's important. Scramble Facts Newsletter, available by airmail today. Just call area code 305-771-0505 with your Visa or MasterCharge card handy.
Boresight Satellite Boutique introduces the Portisol Portable Flameless Soldering Iron. The Portisol needs no electricity, no batteries, no wires to get in the way. Using ordinary butane gas, it is completely self-contained and can be used anywhere. Solder wires on your car, boat, or satellite installation without the need of an extension cord. The Portisol is built to last. It is refillable and even comes with a full 1-year manufacturer's warranty, and it's available now for only $24.50 at the Boresight Satellite Boutique and $28 for COD. For COD orders, call 201-562-0080, and for prepaid orders, send $24.50 to Boresight, 262 Old New Brunswick Road, Piscataway, New Jersey, 08854. Portisol, to go anywhere, anytime, soldering iron.
Hi, this is the news. In Fort Lauderdale this past Monday, U.S. Customs officials seized chips carried by those returning from the descrambling summit held in the Caicos Islands. No arrests or charges were made, but the scene was not the welcome home expected. Prior to the 4-hour-long search and seizure, many of the 341 chips were destroyed. In some cases, Customs seized articles that they were not authorized to take. Most missed connecting flights, but the news media was on hand to cover the story. According to John Aiken of Customs Law Enforcement, the chips will be held for up in order to determine whether or not they violate U.S. copyright law. It appears General Instrument is claiming that the design of the various EEPROMs copied their own VC2 chips. If copyright infringement is proven, charges may be pending. Mr. Carnes, District Director for Customs in Miami, said, "Customs has the authority to detain any material crossing the border. A federal warrant is not necessary, and a federal warrant was not issued." Mr. Carnes also said that the U.S. Customs often seizes high-tech material. When asked who cued Customs in on the chips, comment was denied. But 2 Customs agents and 1 port director said the FBI did not initiate the investigation, and to their knowledge, they were not aware of any involvement by Home Box Office. 2 days following, on January 21st, U.S. Customs in Miami confiscated Boresight's videotape footage of the descrambling summit. U.S. Customs officials said the tapes would not be released as they were needed for an ongoing investigation. Boresight attorneys are concerned over First Amendment here, and they're initiating action to regain possession of the news footage. In a related story, civil charges filed against Picture Perfect Engineering in Phoenix, Arizona by General Instrument and Home Box Office have been dropped. According to PPE, attorneys from GI requested information and issued a cease and desist order. Picture Perfect was being charged with violating the Privacy Act. It was alleged that the company was selling clone chips. At the CES show 2 weeks ago, President of the SVCA, Chuck Hewitt, said that the association would determine its goals following subcommittee meetings. The association is comprised of satellite vendors, cable programmers, TVRO hardware manufacturers, and cable TVRO distributors. When asked what policies such a mixed group would adopt, Chuck Hewitt said, "Opinions are too divergent. It's possible we won't have a policy."
We have no position or policy on any subject.
Mr. Hewitt says the association is a forum for discussion, yet some wonder how the SVCA's mixed membership can discuss program pricing, access, and distribution without violating antitrust laws. More on the SVCA. In an article published in TVRO Dealer, Chuck Hewitt was asked if he thought dealers and manufacturers could survive another year of depressed sales. Mr. Hewitt answered with this: "We figure anyone who has survived this far can survive another year." One concern expressed in the Senate hearings last June in 1986 was HBO's use of K1 to distribute programming.
Mr. Fuchs and Mr. Austrian, do you both contemplate switching over to KU band within the next 5 years?
We have no present plan, Senator, at this point in time.
Mr. Fuchs?
We are experimenting with KU band right now.
If you switch to KU band, will you offer that for sale to home dish owners also?
We have, we're in an experimental stage. We have no policy. We've not given any thoughts to that. I mean, we have.
Well, I'm asking you to give some thought to it as a policy matter. Will you offer it to home dish owners?
We will certainly take that into consideration.
Oh well, why wouldn't you? Tell me, you seem to be considering not offering it to home dish owners. Is that true?
Senator, we have just gotten to our C-band policy, and we're having quite a bit of conversation about it today.
Mm-hmm.
With launch capacity the way it is, for me to speculate when we will be broadcasting...
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you a policy question. You know what I'm asking.
I'm saying you don't normally establish a policy for something that is possibly so far down the road.
It seems such a simple question. Either you will make your programming available to customers outside the cable industry, or you will not. Are you telling me that there's a real possibility that even though now you've been forced by political pressure to make it available on C-band, that if you switch over to KU band, you're telling me there's a real possibility that you might refuse to sell to dish owners? Is that right?
No, I didn't say that. I'd love to respond more fully.
Good.
I haven't been forced by political pressure to sell the C-band. I'm forced by business pressure to sell the C-band. I need those customers. If I can leave this room impressing you with one fact, that is a very important marketplace to me.
I'm not impressed yet.
Well, we'll work on it. I think that You're asking, I mean, there's another issue here. If there are millions of C-band customers and HBO goes to K-band, I'm going to be sitting here with you again, and you're going to say, my rural constituencies invested $1,500 in a C-band dish, and you're now switching to K-band. You're trying to frustrate their reception of the signal.
I'd appreciate it if you would answer the question that I asked. If you switch to KU band, you see some of these dishes are dual capable. The cost of a KU band dish will likely be much cheaper because it'll be smaller. I'm asking you a simple question. Here you are, a programmer owned and controlled by the cable industry.
Not correct, Senator.
Are you owned by a multi-system
Time Inc.
cable
owns
operator?
HBO. They also own a cable
Okay,
company.
we've covered that
I'm not controlled by the cable industry.
You've answered it for the record. You're owned by a company that is one of the largest multi-system cable operators.
And they're also the largest pay television company.
And nearly 100% of your revenue comes from the cable industry, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you're going to switch to another kind of satellite, or you may, and you can't tell me, you can't give me a commitment at this time that when you do that, if you do it, that you will make your programming available to someone other than the cable industry.
I said we did not have a K-band policy. I can tell you, as I said in my opening statement, we will do all that we can to get into every home in America. If that will mean K-band,
as long as it doesn't make the cable industry upset.
No, I didn't add that statement. I said we will do all that we can to get into every home in America. What I am doing now, outside franchise areas, with the hotel business, with the SMATV business, is not in great favor with the cable industry. The cable industry does not regulate or control my business. If there's more business out there and I don't run into the same type of conversation that we have in here by possibly going to K-band, changing transmission, if there is satellite technology, we will have a policy that will allow us to get into as many homes as possible. If there is a K-band business out there that is in our business interest, no matter what the cable industry says, that has to be something that we will seriously consider.
Well,
we do not have a policy.
I find it incredible that you can't just give a forthright commitment that you're going to serve the dish industry even after you switch formats to the KU band.
3 months after those hearings, HBO was transmitting and scrambling 3 services on K1. They were also actively marketing other transponders on that KU band bird. HBO says they will not allow dish owners access to the KU feed. Yet for some TV viewers where C-band reception is impossible, KU is the preferred distribution medium. A question raised here is, can a programmer discriminate against viewers opting for KU as their distribution source? Most cities are not happy with rate hikes announced by cable systems in their area. The city of Santa Barbara, California, is taking their displeasure with rate hikes by Cox Cable to court. If Cox raises its rates without the city's okay, Santa Barbara claims the cable system is in violation of a contract signed in 1981. Other cities are considering similar action against cable's unregulated price increases. Unregulated pricing is not a city's only concern. In Corpus Christi, Florida, and in Buffalo, New York, 2 independent battles were waged against cable by the community. In Corpus Christi, viewers fought against TCI's decision to move the PBS station there from cable channel 7 to cable channel 27. The community won. In Buffalo, cable subscribers fought the cable system to reinstate an independent station which was removed in order to put a revenue-producing channel for the cable company in that spot. The subscribers in Buffalo won that round as well. Cable television is beginning to meet with opposition from almost every industry it touches. Dish owners, Hollywood, independent broadcasters, telephone companies, cable TV citizens groups, and municipalities. They all have their battle to wage with cable. What is common to each concern is the claim that cable, once a monopoly, is now a deregulated monopoly. At a recently held Independent Broadcasters Convention, Jack Valenti, representing the motion picture industry, urged the independents to join filmmakers to pressure the federal government to limit the size of cable systems. Also, Jack Valenti agreed with the independents and said the federal court should allow phone companies to enter the cable business. With phone company competition, cable would not have a monopoly. The NCTA would not comment on these battles being waged against cable. Now, after these messages, we have more news. We have an update on General Instrument and a boycott in Canada.
Calling all manufacturers, distributors, programmers, publishers, dealers.
Be a part of the first nationwide sales campaign for satellite TV.
Educate America on satellite television.
While you inform America on all you have to offer.
Stimulate sales.
Consider this.
A commercial to air on superstations or independent programming services such as WTBS or ESPN.
Or even a print ad in such publications as USA Today, TV Guide, or Sports Illustrated.
Why?
To inform America that an alternative exists.
Satellite television is the wave of the future.
And the consumer's choice for the most innovative, diverse programming available.
Who?
You.
Through the combined efforts of manufacturer, distributor, programmer, publisher, and dealer, a public awareness campaign can be launched to educate America on all that satellite is.
But how do you get involved?
Dealers, make your move.
Zero in on your target consumer and purchase the zip code for that area.
Once the commercial is funded, you will see the results.
Including a toll-free information number for the consumer to call and receive the satellite brochure.
An informative and educational brochure on satellite television for the American consumer.
And future TVRO owner.
But who is involved in the brochure's production?
For a competitive fee, manufacturers, distributors, programmers, and publishers use the brochure as a promotional tool.
And see their company or service represented in caption and photo.
Make the American consumer understand your service and how it relates to satellite TV.
We need your involvement.
And we need your feedback.
Those that have already responded aren't through yet.
Encourage and pressure other industry professionals to participate.
Revitalize satellite by achieving public awareness.
Participate in a program that gives you individual credibility by virtue of national exposure.
Work to rebuild satellite.
And watch satellite work for you.
Do you want to build a black box?
Well, we've got the parts.
All the parts of the black box parts list.
All bagged and ready to go.
All parts are of the highest quality.
And you can get it all here for the lowest price.
For a limited time, if you purchase both the parts kit and the circuit board, one of Boresight's anonymous loyal viewers will send you a copy of their instruction and assembly book, a $30 to $50 value, absolutely free.
And Bag of Parts now has a new home at Post Office Box 402, Englishtown, New Jersey, 07726. Call 201-446-5308.
Welcome back. Many rumors have been circulating on General Instrument. To date, all rumors have been denied by the company, but no official comments have been recorded. First, General Instrument says they will not phase out VC2 and phase in Starlock, though sources say the new VC2100 includes technology extracted from their Starlock decoder. The use of Starlock in video cipher, sources say, will make current cloning methods difficult. 2. Sources also say GI plans to package programming for resale to Dish owners as a third-party distributor. GI says no, but programmers have announced deals with some TVRO manufacturers to distribute scrambled signals. With the recent increase in sales of the VC2, it has been reported that some authorized GI distributors were supplying black box seekers with information on how to get a 3M or clone chip. Major distributors contacted denied these allegations. Receiver manufacturers have had an ongoing concern over interfacing the VC2's board into their satellite receivers. Current concern focuses on the rumor that the new boards coming out of GI for the VC2100 will not work as IRD units. Attempting to meet marketplace demands, Home Box Office is actively thinking about decreasing the price of HBO and Cinemax if a Dish owner buys both services for a full year. Current price is $199.50. With a price cut, the two will go for $179.55. HBO also offers a rebate of $30 to dealers who sell a VC2 and the $199.50 package. Alan Levy, spokesperson for HBO, says the rebate may be enhanced. Mr. Levy also said that HBO was not aware of a shortage of video cipher units. Satellite Broadcast Networks, distributing network programming to Dish owners via Primetime 24, has rejected a demand by ABC Television Network to cease business of supplying network programming to the home Dish owner. SBN notified ABC that what they are doing is fully within the law. 6 months ago, First Run debuted as the dish owner's first and only pay-per-view service offering First Run movies. According to Barry Tiemann representing First Run, the service has been signing up a fair share of consumers. In upcoming months, First Run may have its first run-in with competition. Both Telstar's pay-per-view service and Showtime's Viewer's Choice are gearing up to attract dish owner subscribers. No details are available on either pay-per-view venture. At one time, only the 3 networks battled for the rights to telecast the NFL football games. The best bid won. Well, this year fighting it out is NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox Broadcasting, cable networks, and now 2 syndicators. To give you an idea of how much you need to pay in order to play, in 1986, ABC paid $150 million for those rights. This time around, Fox Broadcasting appears determined to pay everything and lose anything in order to get the NFL rights. Fox Broadcasting airs on Telstar 1, transponder 11, 14, and 24. After 1 year of broadcasting to Holiday Inns across the country, HiNet will add 2 new pay-per-view channels to its KU satellite network. 2 of the 3 pay channels will show feature movies and the 3rd adult films. HiNet's expansion requires hotels to install 2 additional receivers, modulators, and decoders. The decision to increase the pay offerings came because of the success of their first pay-per-view channel, Satellite Cinema. Other programs included in the HiNet package include Showtime, ESPN, and CNN. The average price per hotel room for all these services is $3 per month. Some sources say HiNet might begin distributing a similar program package to the consumer, but the company would not confirm this prospect. Also in HiNet, 50% partner Comsat says they will soon be in it 100%. Negotiated price for turning Holiday Inn's half over to Comsat is $25 million. Comsat has been interested in pursuing direct-to-home DBS programming for some time now. Here's news in Canada. The TVRO trade association there, the SCAC, has announced a boycott on Labatt's beer. The boycott is in reaction to plans by the sports network to scramble its Annick D feed. Labatt owns the sports network. The cost to access 8 channels of programming through CanCom is $21.95 per month. The SCAC believes the price is too high and unfair. Sources say that only 1/2 of 1% of Canadian dish owners pay the $21.95 fee. This indicates that the marketplace is not working too well up north. That concludes this week's Boresight News. Coming up, we have a feature report and additional news, so stay with us.
National Satellite Communications has opened yet another door to the satellite industry. NSC, your full-service distributor, with offices in Clifton Park, New York, and Orlando, Florida, now returns to New York at Newburgh. Rely on the NSC computer network to link nationwide warehouse inventory while supplying both service and dealer support on a local level, all to ensure the NSC commitment, providing the highest quality service available. Remember NSC and their newest location in Newburgh. Contact them at 1-800-323-9486.
NSC's product of the month is the Perf 10 antenna, constructed of aircraft-grade aluminum with a 12-step powder-coated finish. This 10-foot antenna is available on a polar or horizon mount with perforated or mesh reflectors. Assembly time is 45 minutes. Call NSC today. The Transponder, your source for inside information on the satellite industry, will now offer a consumer edition, premiering in early April. With this introductory offer, you get a year subscription for only $19.95. Call 1-800-992-3488. Visa and MasterCard convenience. Call 1-800-992-3488.
The news is out. Black boxes are the technology of tomorrow. The video is here and the audio is just around the corner. So why bother with an intermediate technology? Why bother with VC2s and chips and companies from out of the country? Black boxes are the ultimate technology. Be ready for the future. Order yours today. Call Sparks Unlimited and we will build your black box for you. Call 512-257-2196. That's 512-257-2196.
Well, we came back, and I'm glad you came back with us, and I hope you're going into Vegas with us. we unfortunately will not really be at the SCTI and the SBCA convention because we've been banned from that show because we talk about scrambling, and you're not supposed to do that.
No, we talk about chips. We're not supposed to talk about chips.
Well, we're not supposed to talk. I mean, they would prefer that we don't talk. Well,
we won't
talk
get
about
into
chips.
that.
We're forbidden from that show, but we are going to be there because what we're going to hope to accomplish is to try to bring together all of your dealers, manufacturers, and distributors in one room, in one place, to try to figure out what we as an industry are going to do about staying alive, about an association or about a group, about something that will help us proceed into the future. And one idea we had was that we don't really need an association. What we need to do is hire a marketeer, hire somebody that can really sell satellite to all the people that need to be sold, the press, the news media, and so on and so forth. But that's up to everyone that's going to attend. So for 2 nights, right?
At the Dunes, which is across the street from, I guess it's the Valley Hotel, which used to be the MGM, on March 2nd and March 3rd from 5 to 7 p.m. in the ballroom there, we will have a satellite conference. And it doesn't cost any money, and anybody involved in the satellite industry is invited to attend, and hopefully one of the things that we'll be able to accomplish at this conference is something similar that happened down in the Caicos Islands, and that was a unity of people. That was people standing up and saying, we don't want to steal, we want to pay, how can we pay, how can we get reasonable pricing, and they came up with a solution. And that's what we want from the satellite conference.
Not just that, we want everything. We want a whole yearly budget as to how we're going to proceed in terms of advertising, in terms of positioning with the new group, the SBCA, and in terms of Congress and the other fraction organizations like KSAT. We hopefully will be there, and Keep the Moniker, and anybody, and including SBCA, and most including you manufacturers and distributors. We need everyone there to decide how we might proceed with our future, because we do have a future, and that's what is so frightening, I think, to the cable and the programs, that satellite industry has a future. And as much as they don't want us to have one, we do have one.
Okay, the rooms are only, if you want to stay at the Dunes, it's only $50 a night.
We urge you to stay at the Dunes because if you stay at the Dunes, we are able to get this room very cheap.
Right, and we really can't afford to pay for it. So, and the $50 a night is cheaper than what you'd have to pay at the MGM if you were going to go with that satellite conference. So,
well, they are going to go with that satellite conference. They're going to be over there during the day.
Right.
And
this isn't in any conflict with Rick and...
this would probably help Rick's show. And let me speak about Rick for a second. I pick on him every now and again, and I get some pleasure out of that, I guess. But I must tell you that one dealer spoke to me recently about a great problem that he had with Satron, the rental company that was renting systems, where he was not getting any satisfaction out of them. And he went to Rick Snaringer. And Rick said, I'll take care of it. And the next day, that dealer had his complete refund from Satron. Now, I don't think that's going to happen today because I don't think Satron will probably be at the Vegas show. They probably don't have the funding to be there. But the point was that Rick did go out and obviously intimidate that company to make sure that that dealer was happy. Otherwise, he probably wasn't going to end up being in the show. And that's Rick's way, and as much as I dislike some of the things he does, you know, he is out for you dealers in a lot of ways. So we urge you certainly to attend the Vegas show, but we also urge you to be at this meeting those 2 nights.
So everybody out there has a good side, right? Most people, some people. We're not going to get into a psychological analysis here. Let's get on to the
That's what I have my wife for. What feature? Do we have more things to talk about? We're going to talk about this at the close?
Yeah, we'll do a feature. We'll come back.
$50 Dunes. Register now.
All right. Use the word satellite conference.
Oh, yes. That will give you a special rate.
Right.
Can we afford to go?
New from Canada. A black box with less than half the parts. The Decipher 2 decodes the video portion of any VC2 encrypted signal, and it uses just 3 IC556 timer chips, so you can build it yourself. A detailed instruction book and board are now available, including complete schematics and parts lists with Radio Shack catalog numbers for every part, all for just $35 US. Send check or money order to Valley Microwave Electronics, Bear River, Nova Scotia, Canada, BOS-1BO, or call 902-467-3577 with your Visa card ready. Sorry, no COD orders to U.S.
Expand your business and expand your income by expanding your product line. Satellite dealers can now branch out, sell, install, and service telephone systems, a low-risk, high-profit addition to your satellite income. Apex Telephone Systems now offers the experience, support, and reputation of 20 years in the telephone industry through the Apex Dealership Program.
Well, one of the big advantages of our dealership program would be for satellite retailers to be able to attain and sell the type of system that isn't readily available at a supply house. And beyond that, we would be able to back them with extensive technical support, like I said before, sales training, and the ability to help them through any problems they might encounter along the way.
Apex handles well-built American-made products such as ComDial. ComDial phones include many exclusive features as well as the lowest failure rate in the business. For more information about how you can get involved, call Apex today, 201-454-2242.
Have you noticed they've been doing some funny things to your home videos lately? If you jump from one deck to another, you may be having some trouble. Well, this little box can help. The Video Hopper is a video stabilizer and enhancer. It will cure stability problems encountered when dubbing tapes for home use. It's simple to install. Just plug one end to your player deck and the other end to your recorder, and that's it. And it's so small you might just forget it's there. Except, of course, for the clear, clean, stable video picture quality. So, call this number and order your Video Hopper today and start enjoying some great movies over and over again. The Video Hopper, a video stabilizer enhancer. It's available for only $159 complete. $159. That's practically half the price of the other brands. And for extra savings, the Video Hopper is now available in a kit form, including the board and all the parts for only $109. So call today. $159 complete, $109 if you put it together yourself. The Video Hopper.
Dish sales have been rising since December, with market jumps noted in the first 2 weeks of January. One dealer in Florida has almost reached his 1985 sales momentum. He's selling 21 systems a week. Some believe the turnaround is due to decreasing costs of scrambled programming, while others say it's the availability of black box devices to obtain scrambled programming. Some attribute sales growth to the deregulation of cable, which has caused cable systems to increase basic rates 10 to 30%.
We don't get IRDs, we don't get education of the consumer, and we don't get programming packages. I would anticipate that 87 will go down as a year pretty similar to 86, about 225,000 systems. However, every time we get one of those things happening, the sales numbers will go up. So with integrated receiver to scramblers, that may push us up to 300,000 systems, and with good programming packages and the kind of numbers I'm talking about, I think we could go 400,000 or 500,000 systems.
Certain regional sales booms are due to cable systems selling programming at reasonable rates. In cases where the town TVRO dealer is also the small-town cable system operator, the dealer may sell programming to dish owners in his franchised area for whatever price he deems appropriate. In Tennessee, one such dealer cable operator is selling both HBO and Cinemax for $12 each. In Pennsylvania, another TVRO dealer gained the rights to sell by becoming a franchised cable operator.
Basically, the programmers didn't want to deal with a dealer of TVRO equipment. They wanted to deal with their intact distributors, which I felt I was at the time because I had been doing apartment complexes, private cable. And I thought I would be qualified to handle it. If you're a franchised operator, they will sell to you for dishes. If you are not, even though I am a representative of Movie Channel and Showtime for apartment houses, condos, and hotels, I can sell their programming and collect revenue, but I cannot do it to the home dish market.
In areas where system operators are more concerned with assets than sales, reasonable pricing is not the norm. A dish owner who buys programming from a cable operator is worth his monthly subscription fee. Is worth his monthly fee plus an additional $1,100. As an asset, a TV viewer is worth more to a cable system as a cable subscriber than as a dish owner. James Mooney, president of the Trade Association, noted that 43% of households with access to cable do not subscribe, and 3% annually do not renew their service. As prices go up and subscribers fall out, cable is initiating a $365,000 Boost Cable Image campaign. Still, in Florida, TVRO dealer Walt Frazier of Stansbury Sales says, "People are bringing in their cable bills and telling me they want a dish." In Westfield, New York, rates raised 40%. Increase elsewhere ranges from 12 to 30. According to an analysis in Multi-Channel News, while basic has raised, the pay services have decreased. A cable sub can pick up HBO on average for $10.87. In Denver, it's $9, and in Sioux City, Iowa, $7. The monthly HBO fee for a dish owner, $12.95. Some services vary in their price charged to dish owners due to cable operator and programmer packages. However, as prices decrease for the dish marketplace, they also decrease for the cable subscriber. Whether increased system sales is due to decreased pricing, the clone and musketeer chip, or cable rate hikes does not concern the TVRO dealers who are back in business. What concerns the industry at this juncture is how long the sales will continue to rise. One controlling factor regulating sales is availability of the video cipher to enable customers to access scrambled services. When HBO first scrambled 1 year ago, the VC2 was not readily available. Today, despite previous claims by Maycom that hundreds of thousands of units would be in the field, the VC2 is again hard to find.
The scramblers are readily available through TVRO dealers and retailers.
Many sources questioned believe only 75 to 100,000 video ciphers were made available, and now the stock is depleted at major distribution sites such as Annixter Brothers, Channel Master, National Satellite Communications, and others. The shortage has caused a few distributors with limited supply to charge the dealer as much as $500 for the descrambler, which is retailing for $395. If HBO lowers its price to the reasonable fare of $5 a month, it won't help sell programming or dishes if the VC2 is not available. VC2 scarcity could bring the industry into another devastating sales slump. With current decoder stock depleted, only 5% of dish owners will have access to scrambled programming. Some heavy in legislative lobbying believe Congress should place a moratorium on scrambling until decoders are available to meet marketplace demands.
Well, that's our show for tonight, and for those dealers that have been involved in the Provo incident, we are going to make available one of our telephone numbers, which will have an audio tape on it that will start at 7 o'clock at night and run till 9 in the morning. Do not call it any other time, only from those hours, and it will tell you basically what is going on in this customs and legal and GI and all this thing to give you some sort of advice you need it between now and next week.
Okay.
And what else, Karen?
Well, if you tuned in late to Boresight, want to remind you, don't buy the Cable Tech tape for $149. It is a ripoff. And if you have purchased it, send it in and request your money back. Boresight at this point hasn't decided whether or not we are going to initiate charges for a copyright violation.
But do buy our good old friend Lloyd. Buy Sat Locator. It's what is it, Karen? You read this thing.
It's a newsletter for the satellite industry. Lloyd Covens used to publish or edit the channel guide. Oh, sorry, Billy.
He has some good. Lloyd has good contacts. I mean, he's a good person to do this. Actually, he should be doing the telephone exchange for the dealers that were involved in Provo. Maybe we can get Lloyd to do that.
I don't know if Lloyd wants to get involved.
I don't think so.
Poor Lloyd.
Nobody wants to be
kids.
involved. Okay. How did he ever find the time? This is
his original guide that was Channel Guide. Channel Guide is now owned by Triple D, and people that did subscribe to Channel Guide are now going to be getting OnSat. However, Lloyd is a pretty smart businessman. He wanted to spur sales and to increase public relations. So he, right before the sale to Triple D, he gave away a lot of free subscriptions to Channel Guide, which now means that those people are going to be getting OnSat, I believe.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Good for him. Well, this is I guess the telephone number and address is up there on the screen. Let's move on to something else.
Anything else? No?
Wait, is that it? On your long list?
Yeah, we've been talking here for like, a whole hour. It's just enough.
Oh, how boring.
Just want to remind you about the satellite conference in Las Vegas on the 2nd and the 3rd. Call the Dunes. Give the name Satellite Conference. You'll get a room for $50. That's single or double occupancy.
That's right. They're good folks over at the Dunes, and we get that room so we can have this conference on the 2nd and 3rd.
That's right, 5 to 7 p.m., which will not conflict with the exhibit hours across the street at the MGM.
And what the hell? And we want those exhibitors over at the Dunes because those are the people that help make our industry what it is. And it really is a good industry if we could just get the people that have entered our industry in the last year out of our industry. You think about that. Our industry failed when big business came into it. We were doing fine. I mean, we had some problems, but now we got lots of problems.
Oh, gosh.
And
go ahead.
Well, I don't want anybody looking for that $50 chip yet. I mean, understand that the $50 chip and that whole scenario that we've laid out about purchasing program is not happening yet. It will probably not happen for a couple more weeks. The people that you're buying chips from, continue buying them, or don't buy them. Do whatever you want in that regard. And you can still send $100 and some odd into your fund to protect you should anybody want to mess with you. Right?
Could have been in Spanish. It would have meant the same to me.
Well, then you explain it. I'm tired.
Well, we'll come back on next week, hopefully. If we're not, that means that we've been detained for some legality or semantic reason. So
If you don't see us, here's our address, and send money. And it'll be used wisely. I mean, I'm not kidding. This is serious. If you don't see us here or see us on Galaxy, that means they've really started screwing with us. And there's a lot of people who believe that we're the people they most like to pick on right now. So send money so we can stay on the air and protect your interests, because that's all we really want to do.
That's right. Good night.
Good night.
The Amiga.